What is up, friends? I am JW Raider, and this is the Skyview plan by Tri Pointe Homes. I am here today in beautiful Bar W Ranch in Leander, Texas. We're going to take a look through with new home advisor Tiffany Icmat from Tri Pointe Homes. We're going to learn what makes Tri Pointe so special, what makes their design so great. We're going to learn about her beautiful community out here, Bar W Ranch, the amenities they've got going on, why it's such a hot spot for new home buyers, especially those relocating to the North Austin suburbs. And we're going to learn a couple of tips and tricks about how buyers can make the most of their new home buying experience. Come on, let's go take a look. Hi guys, JW Raider. As promised, I am sitting here with the wonderful Tiffany Icmat, new home advisor with Tri Pointe Homes, and one of the very first people I met in Austin, and an absolute rock star who we love. So she's going to tell us a little bit more about Tri Pointe as a builder, her community here, Bar W Ranch. This is the first time I've ever been to Bar W. There's a lot going on here. This is cool.
There is. We are actually located in Leander, Texas, just north of Austin. We are Liberty Hills School District, so those combined is very, very attractive to relocation buyers, especially coming into this area. So we have great schools and amazing proximity. So whether you're traveling north or south, downtown Austin, want to go out to one of the lakes, spend a little time in the country, it's still a very Texas kind of area, but you are 10 minutes if you want to do some big city things.
Well, and that feels really recent, right? Because we've been in the area for a little while now, and it feels like even in just like the last year or two, a lot of development has really grown up around this area.
Yes, and if you ask anyone from Texas, they'll tell you just watch HEB. And so for the longest time, working also in another community in this area, I would tell people all the time when they would talk about the distance that once HEB comes, you know everything's going to grow up around it. So we do have one of Greater Austin's largest and 80% robotic HEBs just here across the street. It is the Bar W HEB, actually. Yep. Around that area, you have eateries and little shops that are opening up, local banking, salons, things like that. And then if you travel about 10 minutes north of here, you happen upon downtown Liberty Hill. And so downtown Liberty Hill is lined with boutiques and coffee shops, and one of the best ways to really get a feel of not only the Austin area, but Texas.
That feels so Texas to me.
It does.
I'm over there, it's like, I'm like, oh my goodness, I was transported into
It's
like,
amazing.
what Texas
it's amazing. And you feel like when you talk about or hear about Austin, it's all big city, but there are so many parts of this area that are still very small town feel. So this is somewhere you can come and enjoy all of that.
Absolutely. The setting is beautiful as well. And so tell me a little bit like community specific. What kind of amenities, that kind of thing, do you have going on here in Bar W?
So in Bar W, we have resort style amenities that are currently underway. So we will, of course, have resort style swimming pool. There will be an amenity center, a dog park, massive playground. We just put in soccer fields. We'll have pickleball and all of those things. We're expecting to open up late this summer.
Fantastic. Pickleball is taking over.
Pickleball is taking over. Have you ever played it?
A little.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, usually, if I play pickleball, like I have a drink in my hand, like kind of thing, you know?
You can play it one-handed. Yeah. You can totally play it one-handed.
You only have one paddle.
Yeah. It's like tennis, but not serious.
Exactly.
Like you don't even have to be good at it. You just have a good time.
Well, that felt like a little shot at me. But, so tell me as well, because the thing that always strikes me is not only all the things that we just mentioned, the proximity to all these great new developments coming around, all the amenities you're going to be having, but still the price points are really, really good for this area where, if you go even just a little bit further south for the same type of community, the same type of home, I feel like you're spending a bunch more money if you're anywhere closer to Austin. Tell me a little bit about pricing. Do you see that? Are you kind of the value of the area, it feels like?
Absolutely. So we are going to be a higher end product line that is still affordable. Being in the industry for a while, these last 4 years, we have really seen, as the entire country has, inflation, the cost of living, and the massive relocation to the Austin area has really drawn prices. And that's a hard thing to absorb when you're in the industry, because we come to work every day and we show homes and we sell homes and we work in these beautiful model homes, but it really comes down to the families that come in You know, they're looking for a home that they're going to live in every day, and how that home is going to function for them. And you build a relationship and you get emotionally attached to those buyers. And so to have something that is not only beautiful and well built, but also affordable, just kind of takes us back a few years to what the market used to be like.
I couldn't agree more. It's hard when people get priced out, right? And you see it happen all too often, and not just in this market, but Austin specifically there for a couple of years just exploded, and it felt like people were getting priced out. So it's nice to see these areas that are cropping up like here where you can still get value and you're not so far, because I think that's always been people's their misconceptions. I have to go so far out to be able to get anything affordable. But with everything we just mentioned, you're not that far out here. There's so much that's going on. So you mentioned the quality of the Tri Pointe build and how you're able to offer something at a great price that you can also stand behind. Talk to me a little bit about construction with Tri Pointe, like, educate some folks on what it's like to actually build a home, what kind of sets you guys apart, from your perspective, having worked in new construction for, a few years. Talk to us about what makes you guys different in that way.
The true difference is really behind the walls. We're going to start with assessing the lot and the tonnage of the home that is going to be going on that lot. We engineer the slab specifically for those two things. No two slabs are completely identical, and there's a reason behind that. We go from 3,000 PSI concrete to a level 2 lumber that we still build the old-fashioned way. There's no gingerbread houses out here. We build them stick by stick. So the quality of the lumber, when you're looking at the lumber, I actually enjoy showing houses that aren't finished so that I can show people what's behind the walls and what really, creates the value. Those are things they're never going to see, and our idea is that we don't want them to think about it. We want them to feel secure in that their home was built the right way, and it was built with high quality products by the best of hands so that they can just enjoy living there.
Absolutely. If you're talking about those things too much, sometimes like after the fact, after it's built, it's probably because something's wrong. So you do want it to be kind of sight unseen.
Absolutely.
But it's good to know, because as you and I can attest, there's something about when you walk through a home and you can't describe it, and it's feeling. And I always tell people that's what you're feeling, is quality of the stuff you can't see. Because you can put really high-end finishes on a cheaply built home. It still feels kind of cheaply built. You walk through these homes and it feels good. I don't know how to describe it better than that.
Well, a word that I hear a lot is heavier.
Yeah.
That when buyers are walking through the house, they're like, the house just feels heavier, it feels more sound.
100%. Yeah. You can feel it. Now, beyond the obvious quality of construction, your design here in your model homes is incredible. So talk to us a little bit about what do you guys do? What do you see Tri Pointe doing that stands out from what maybe every other builder is doing in terms of your design? Is there something that you're doing that you really love?
There is. We do a tremendous job of utilizing space and making things beautiful but cohesive. Yeah. So you've got large closets, large bedrooms, lots of cabinets. They just don't leave anything untouched when it comes to how a family is actually going to live in one of our homes. Well,
and it shows. There's just details aren't going unnoticed here. Like, it doesn't feel like wasted space. There's nothing that feels like this is an oversight. You don't see that in this home.
Right.
Okay, so we've talked a little bit about Tri Pointe. We've talked about Bar W. We've talked about all the things that make this place great. I want to try and help folks who may have never delved into the new construction process before. What does that process actually look like? Because I do feel like a lot of people get intimidated by it.
Absolutely. And that's a natural response. For the longest time, and again, I've been in the industry for a long time, especially in new construction. And you have the feeling that going into a model home, going to visit a builder, that you have to have your guard up. Yeah. They're going to, talk to you about more expensive homes and spend a little bit more, and they work for the builder, so they're not really working on your behalf, and it's going to be an impersonal experience. And while that may be true in some instances, it shouldn't be the expectation with Tri Pointe Homes. We are truly just going to listen. I want to know where you're from and what brought brought you to the area and what things are important, whether it's, you know, how close you are to where soccer practice is going to be, if you need space for when your parents come visit, all of those things. I want to have a conversation and I want to get to know them as people.
For sure. Well, and that's why, you know, for me personally as an agent, I gravitate towards the folks who share that same mindset, because for me, I don't view myself as a salesperson. I view myself as a solution finder.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like that's kind of how you view your role as well.
I do.
That's really cool.
I do.
Tiff, you couldn't be any more professional. You couldn't be any more informative. Like, you're such a good representation of what, like, I think a new home salesperson should be. I've told you this before. Like, you were the first person who helped me when, like, we first moved here, and you were awesome, and you're just the best. So,
well, you had me at I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan.
I was gonna say.
I mean, so you know,
good people gravitate to good people.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. This guy's got to be cool.
You know, right?
He's got to be cool.
That's good. I love it. Thank you, Tiffany.
You're very welcome. I so appreciate you coming out and doing this with me.
Of course.